Good morning, Niall. Good morning, Thames, and welcome to Tuesday's Fantastic Phonics. For our warm-up today, we're actually going to do a little bit of handwriting practice. So I'm going to practice all of the letters that form part of the curly caterpillar family. And this family of letters are a family because they all start with the same action or the same line that we make when we make the letter C. So the first letter I'm going to do is the letter C. I've drawn a line for myself because that might help me, because I think a couple of the letters in this family are either tall or tail letters, and the line will help you line them up. So the first letter I'm going to do is the letter C. Nice and simple. There we go. And then starting in the same place as I would start C, I'm going to continue round and do the letter A. So instead of stopping, I go back to where I started, down, and just a little flick at the end. And then the next letter I'm going to do does the same thing as the A, but instead of stopping where I started, it keeps going up tall. And that is the letter D. Again, a little flick at the end. And then my next letter, letter G, starts in the same place as C and A, stops where A stopped at the beginning, but then goes down and has a long tail that goes underneath. And then finally, you might say it's the simplest letter because it's just round, but we need to remember to start to the top. We go round and back up to where we started for the letter O. Now, if you might have a whiteboard at home, but if you don't worry. As part of this week's plan, there is a sheet of letters printed off for you to go over, and then you could, maybe above them or below them if you think you've got enough room, practice writing some of your own. Draw a line if you think it'll help you, and that's a really good activity for you to do sometime this week. Okay, now, the main thing that we are going to do today is we are going to learn our next tricky word. Now I'm going to start by writing a tricky word that we all know. And the tricky word I'm going to write is the. Okay, but that, you're saying, well, I know that isn't our tricky word, but remembering these are the first three letters of today's tricky word is really going to help you. Today's tricky word is they. Do you think you know which letter needs to go on the end to make it they? Like in a lot of words, the they, there's almost, if you make it a bit more obvious, there is a y hiding at the end. So this is how you write they. They is a word that we use when we are talking about a group of people and we are not part of it. They walked past me on the street. They helped me up when I fell over. So they is a very useful word when we're talking about something either happening in a story and it's a big crowd, or something that happened when we met a big group of people. So Miss Knight's going to help me out. She is going to read out a sentence and I am going to try and write it. But before I do, I'm just going to remind myself of the 4 steps I need to remember in my sentence dance. And they are: capital letter, on the line, finger spaces, full stop. Right, Miss Knight, when you're ready.
Okay, so your sentence is, they are going to the shop.
They are going to the shop. So my first word is they. So I could write that down, but I need to remember I have to start with a capital letter. So they. And then I need a finger space and are. And then a new word, so another finger space. Going. And then a finger space, and another tricky word we know to, finger space, and then another tricky word we know, the. And were they going to the shop?
They were.
Brilliant, so shop, so shh. Okay, so checking, they are going to the shop. And I've written my capital letter. I've made sure I've put it all on the line with my tail letters underneath. I've made sure I've got finger spaces. I need to remember my full stop at the end. Now, they are going to the is a sentence that could end in all sorts of ways. So I think I might change that. I'll keep everything else, but I'll get rid of shop because, to be honest with you, I think I'd like to go somewhere a little bit more fun and exciting. So instead of going to the shop, I think they are going to the They are going to the park. And in fact, I could decide to send them to somewhere even more crazy than that. Let's send them somewhere very far away. They are going to the They are going to the moon. So this is a sentence you could actually have quite a lot of fun with. Try and think of the weirdest, most wonderful place that they are going to and try and write that out. Maybe try and write a few different amazing they are going to sentences, and we'd love to see them. Okay. Remember, our tricky word is the with a y at the end of it, turns it into they. Good luck with that, and we'll see you next time.